Dave, first, just Justin Wrobleski's got the start today. I know how he ended last year was a tough one, but to see how impressive he was this spring, how have you seen him just develop and evolve as a big league pitcher? And what are you hoping to see with him with this experience today?
He's grown. I think that most young players, I like the stuff. It's a good fastball. I think the thing with Justin is he's understanding how to use his secondary pitches to kind of keep guys, major league hitters, off balance and not trying to always overpower them. This is a young ball club that swings the bats, they put the ball in play, and so it's going to be a good challenge, and we got to play good defense behind him. But I think he should have a good one if his secondary is where it needs to be.
Speaking of defense, just a handful of errors in the last few games. Do you think it's just something that it's early in the season? I know you've talked about wanting to clean up a few things, but it does seem it's a bit uncharacteristic of just the makeup of this team.
It is. It's a little disconcerting given the talent level, the way our guys work. But I think baseball, I guess at some points it is cyclical with certain things, and right now we're just not playing clean defensively. But I do think it's going to change. It'll get better. And again, like I said, it's just not from lack of preparation or work.
With Robleski, how much of the pitching front to back is stuff that you guys as an organization pressed upon, and how much of that is maybe having the experience in the big leagues last year and seeing that maybe bullying guys with fastball isn't going to work?
It's a combo. I think more pitching coach driven and also major league hitter driven. I think the best kind of gauge on success or potential adjustments any player needs to make is the players themselves. And so as a pitcher, when you're not being able to put guys away or giving them hard contact, there's telling you got to change. And so he learned on the fly. And he's doing a good job adjusting.
Do you have a starter for tomorrow?
Landon Knack's going to start for us.
Does Robleski stick around for a couple with Blake not going to be available?
He will. Yeah, Justin will be around. I think Justin will be. Let me just see how, because we have an off day with Yamamoto going Friday, Roki going Saturday. Let me hold pat on that one.
Were any further decisions made after Dave and Neil talked?
Blake Snell is going to be shut down till Monday. So that's all. We're going to just rest it. Nothing else. Just rest till Monday, and we'll see. We'll pick back up from there.
How do you kind of gauge that, in terms of best or worst case scenario? Is that something welcoming?
I would say that's best case scenario. So given where we're at in the time of year, for there not to be any type of intervention of any kind after the scan and just taking 7 days of rest was the best case scenario.
He had said he'd been pitching through that for about 3 weeks. Was that something that you guys were kind of aware of?
I didn't know about it. I really didn't. So how much he divulged to the training staff, the pitching coaches, kept some to himself. So for me personally, I didn't know that he was doing that. So.
Is that one of those things where just starting a new contract, big contract, you kind of want to fill some expectations with driving that?
I think it's a combo. People aren't always 100%, and sometimes you want to push through things. But so I just didn't know.
We talked so much about the pitching depth you guys added this winter. It had just coming into the year, going through an injury for the first time. Do you just kind of feel a little bit more confident about? Obviously, you guys still aren't full strength with all the depth, but just with the options you did have as you look at how to fill this over the next couple weeks.
Yeah, we definitely feel confident, and I don't think that anyone expected us to go unscathed all year, whether it's out of the pen or starters. So it's where we're at, but I do think that we knew that we had a lot of viable options to backfill, and we're seeing the next 2 nights.
How is Tony Gonsolin doing? And is he someone that if Blake were to need more time, then he could be someone who could potentially be available sooner?
So Tony, I think, is going to be throwing on Thursday, and he's going to be built up to 3 innings. And then I think the plan for him is to make sure he gets up to 5 innings or potentially 6 innings. So he's a few weeks away.
Dave, Shohei said that he's mainly working on the fastballs. What do you need to see from him so that he can move to the
it's the two different fastballs that he's working on right now. To be quite frank, it's a pitching coach, doctor, trainer decision on when Shohei advances to using the split or the breaking ball. So right now, I'm just not aware of when that timeline is. I'll do some digging.
What's your sense right now of kind of how eager, how frustrated maybe he is right now with his inability to get back? Like, are you sensing that he's chomping at the bit to get back? Is he pitching? Where would you kind of describe that?
I think he's actually in a good place.
Obviously, he's still playing.
No, right. He's still playing. It was a collective decision, collective. And I think that he understands that the goal is to make sure that he is firing on all cylinders, towards the end of the season through October. So we're in lockstep. So I don't think there's any kind of angst or anxiety or frustration from Shohei in that sense at all.
Right. It's more about just, understandable eagerness to return to something that he's done.
Yeah, but I also think that he's very grateful that we are being sensitive to the longer term play too, given this is his second Tommy John too.
Is there a scenario where he's still mostly throwing fastballs, but you have him go to lives before he gets into the off speeds, or do you want to make sure?
He'll use his entire pitch mix before he faces hitters.
Are you surprised that he's kind of embraced this plan? Like with the Angels, he was always trying to push to do more of the two-way stuff and get back to pitching when he came up the first Tommy John. Like, what do you kind of attribute this kind of openness to kind of taking things slower to?
I think that certainly after number 2, I think it makes you feel a little bit more human, I guess, and then also appreciating the longer term and knowing that he wants to pitch for a long time. And so to get the foundation right and strong and feel good about it coming off of the second one, I think is important to him as well. So that's probably it. Yeah.
How much of just making sure he doesn't come back too quick and hurt himself or something like that kind of plays into all this too? Obviously wanted to keep him in the lineup offensively.
I think it was just all a combination of things of ramping up on the hitting side, trying to bake in how many innings, how many bullets he has in this season, and weighing the importance of the back end of this season. I think all of that kind of played into the decision of slowing things down, and that's why he was a part of the whole process. And like I said, he's on board.
When was the last time you sat down and talked to him about those things? Or how often you have conversations with him about when they come back with pitchers?
Our training staff talks to him weekly about where he's at and the plan going forward. I personally don't talk to him. I'm more concerned about kind of in the right now for me.
About Tommy's skill set that you think is most benefited being with the Dodgers and being with the program?
I think he has a lot of, it's a very vast skill set. His bat to ball, he's a switch hitter. He's really not compromised from either side of the plate. He controls the strike zone from both sides. He values the walk. Obviously, he's a versatile defender. He can play shortstop, can play second. So he plays in the center of the diamond, which is very valuable. He's a guy that is very low maintenance on my side of things. He just plays and prepares. And it's almost like whenever you need somewhere to plug, he's there. You need a 2-hitter, you need a 4-hitter, you need somebody to hit behind somebody or get on base. He's sort of been that guy for us.
Have you been surprised at how much he's meant to you since?
I have. Not to discredit him, but he's better than I thought he was.